Hello, I'm Alan Davies. You are listening to the Tuesday Club. This is the Arsenal podcast, and I've got Damien Harris with me this afternoon. How are you, Damien?
Very good. Thank you very much for asking.
Harris is the midfield general, of course.
Absolutely.
And Taio Papoola is here.
Afternoon, Alan.
Papoola is still eligible for the Nigeria under-21 squad.
And as of this minute, Kanu is still, if you ask him, he's still younger than me.
Car Freedom Pass new.
What is he claiming at the moment?
He's claiming he's 38. He's 37, sorry.
Kanu, really?
Yeah. He's
Kanu played in the European Cup final for Ajax in 1995. Didn't he? When he was 12 years old.
Yeah.
That whole team claimed to be 19, didn't they?
I think he's. I'm looking forward to the World Cup draw on Friday. I think Kanu is still putting himself up for that.
Is he?
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if
was he in the qualifiers?
No, he's waiting to make a guest appearance in the finals.
Yeah. What was the bloke's name?
Roger Miller.
Roger Miller. Yes.
He's the only one who's honest about his age in the history of African football. He's the one who realised that actually being this old was impressive rather than shameful. So yeah, the big draw Friday. Who are we going to get?
Chile, Brazil, and France.
Good.
I saw some random generator thing which claimed to have hacked the computer, blah, 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 but it ended up with Brazil, Chile, and France in our group.
Really? Mm. That's the group stage?
That's the group of death stage.
That's not the semi-finals? That's the group stage?
I don't think we'll be smelling semi-final. You know what I mean? Yeah, it sounds different in here, doesn't it? It sounds different today,
Wayne, where are you going to text? Where are you going to watch the semi-final? Come and watch it with us. Silent Chris is moving out of the flat. So of the many things that have disappeared from his daughter's bedroom where we record, the 2009 grime calendar. Yeah. Without which I feel, I don't know.
It's acoustic properties.
I feel weakened.
Yeah.
Without who was the poster boy then? You can't speak, can you? Lethal Bizzle, I think it was. It's probably Lethal Bizzle.
I don't think it was Lethal Bizzle. Yeah, he wasn't born then.
And what's happened to his mate?
Frimpong.
I couldn't remember his name for a minute. Is he still at Arsenal?
He lives next door to my stepsister.
Actually?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
He's moved in.
That wasn't just the cabbie telling you a story this morning.
Someone from Arsenal's moved in, and then they went through some descriptive...
How long
which was more to do with his car than with himself. Narrowed it down quite quickly.
Yeah. It's a Porsche with denture.
And they reckon that, and they've got at the bottom of their garden, they've got a slightly odd-shaped garden, which is on sort of two levels, and the bottom bit is quite a nice sized grassy area where their two sons, my nephews, have been playing football for years. They're all grown up now. And he asked if he could borrow it for a kick around with his mates. So
he needs to practice. He needs to
practice.
Wow!
I said, don't go down there and play with him. He'll do your ankles.
There is. I mean,
there's an accident waiting to happen.
I'm sure we'll come on to chairs later on. But there's someone. This is what happens when you don't knuckle down and get on with your Arsenal career. When you've got it all at your fingertips, all at your feet, and you decide to just be a bit of a dick.
He did get injured, didn't he?
Oh, Frimpong?
Yeah. Didn't he have an injury that sort of set him back a bit?
So did Aaron Ramsey.
He had to cruciate. Didn't he do a cruciate?
Yeah.
All like that.
So...
And then he went out on loan a couple of times, didn't really kick on at Wolves.
He's not on loan at the moment, though, is he? He's at the club. But it's quite hard to get in our midfield at the moment.
Yeah.
It's quite hard for Thomas Rosicky to get in our midfield and Mattia Flamini. So I think he's languishing several spots behind.
Was he injured for the one Carling Cup game? Or was he just not picked?
I can't remember if he was on there. Hang on. Silent Chris's notes from last week are still here. Well, he wasn't on the bench. He must have been injured. Hayden was being picked, wasn't he, instead? Anyway, we come to you, listener, in a merry week after we have squashed Marseille effortlessly with two wonderful goals from Jack Wilshere and the worst penalty an Arsenal player's ever taken. and then an epic, majestic performance away at Cardiff City, which is supposed to be one of the hottest and hardest away fixtures in the country, where Manchester City came unstuck, where Man United dropped points, and we just made it look easy.
Did everyone see the game?
Yeah, I watched it all.
Didn't look under threat at all. Well, there was one period in the second half where they sort of came back at us, but from Jack hitting the crossbar in the first minute to Ramsey kind of running the show.
Well, I listened to it on the radio, and even Clive Allen was doing a co-commentary, and even Clive Allen was purring about Arsenal. They did keep saying that Ozil's done nothing. Ozil's quiet, and I thought, keep saying that, mate.
Yeah.
Keep saying that.
2 assists later.
2 astounding assists later. I mean, the first one, I think he's hit that ball, he's thinking, if I hit Ramsey on the head here, it's going to go in the top corner. And he fired it at his head, and Ramsey thought, if this hits me on the head, it's going to go in the top corner.
We did the same with Flamini as well. Flamini didn't have to break stride. It's like, if he keeps running,
amazing.
His right foot is going to fall onto this and make it look amazing.
But if you look at it, there are 2 outstretched Cardiff City legs that just miss it by about an inch each. And it lands on Flamini. He doesn't have to do it. I mean, he basically puts it into the net off the player, doesn't he? Yeah, he did it with Wilshere against Marseille. Yeah. He just knocked it to him in such a way that he had no choice but to side foot it.
And he did it with Giroud in a Euro game as well when he went down the side. Remember, who was it? It was probably Marseille. It was Marseille at home, I think, and was it Napoli at home when Giroud just kind of fell onto the ball again. He looks up, he does that, and just beforehand, Kieran Gibbs for the Ramsey goal. Kieran Gibbs thinks about going down the line, realises he's got the best assist player in the world next to him, just gives the ball to him. Ozil looks up, and because he always whips it in really early, for the Ramsey chance when the back heel that came off the post in the league game beforehand, he looks up, he passes it so early every time. You always kind of think he's going to take. Not even average players take another touch, but he plays it so early.
I don't even know if he's really playing it early, rather than he just disguises it. So it's a little bit unexpected.
So it looks like he's just walking.
It looks like he's thinking about what to do, and then he's done it. Because it's all done, everything's done with disguise.
What do you think?
It's either a look away, or it's done in his stride before you expect it, or it's done as he's fainting one way. So everything is hidden.
Do you think his whole game is a disguise and his whole demeanour?
I think if you saw him off the pitch, you wouldn't recognise him.
He's a bit goth, isn't he? I reckon.
Do you reckon he's a goth?
Well, he's quite sulky. He looks that sort of. No one understands me. Do you know what I mean? He's sort of got that air of, oh God, I didn't do any homework. I didn't do any revision.
Is that a big issue in the Turkish community?
I don't care.
That sort of sullen attitude.
He's a little bit.
I think it's a combination of him still getting to grips with this ridiculous. Why are you all playing so fast? You don't have to.
Calm down, everyone.
Yeah, so it's a little bit of that.
100% pass completion rate in the opposition half. Leads the lead in assists. It's done nothing. It's doing nothing.
Yeah,
doing nothing.
But he did. I mean, that penalty was casual. Well, Arsene said afterwards he takes him like that, not bothered in the slightest.
Why didn't Giroud take it?
Because he's number
too handsome.
He's number 3.
It's too good looking to be
just too damn handsome.
Because the goalie always gets an erection.
Yeah.
And if the goalie gets an erection, they have to read. You are the ref.
You are.
Centre forward is so good looking. As he's prepared to take a penalty, the goalkeeper complains that he's getting an erection.
His engorged member,
thus impairing his movement. Should the kick be retaken, you are the ref. Player safety is paramount.
What do you, show him a picture of Martin Keown very quickly.
Show that photo. Peter Beardsley with his tackles falling out of his shorts.
Each ref has to have that picture.
If the player is still a ref.
So all the refs, Andre Mariner, when he comes to Arsenal, he's got a red card, a yellow card, and a picture of Peter Beardsley with his Todger out.
Oh, ref, Giroud's too handsome. All right, have a look at that. Come back to me in a minute.
But after he took that penalty, there were reports of outbreaks of Ozil looking like he's sweating when he was running because he tried desperately to sort of make up for it.
Did he?
Immediately, and then he just went back to actually this isn't what I do. I'll just affect the game in my own kind of languid way.
He runs when we win the ball back. That's when he runs. He goes like a whippet when we win the ball back.
He's really quick, isn't he?
He covers 10-15 yards there into space immediately every time we win the ball back. He's amazing like that. I was looking at him when I first saw him. He was so similar to Jack in that he was left-footed and he had great touch and he played in midfield and And then you watch him a bit, and I thought, is he Brady? A bit Brady-like, in comparisons in your head with other greats that you've seen. But he's a sort of Bergkamp, really. It's all about the final third. He could play centre mid all day long, but what a waste of talent. It's all about the final third. He's a fantastic. I mean, he does open teams up. He just opens it up. A game like that with Cardiff, where in the past we'd be knocking it about, much the better team, and then we'd be texting each other saying, how did we lose that 1-0?
Yeah.
How did we lose that? That's ridiculous. We were much better than them. Well, he's the one who will open it up and create the actual goal.
It's been very noticeable this season how much we haven't gone across from left to right in that kind of centre circle that we do.
The arc of frustration.
Exactly that. Yeah, we've done and now that Ramsey's making those runs, knowing that someone's going to do that. Now the fact that Flamini, who's supposed to come on and shore the game up, decides I'm going to have a
lung bursting 60 yards. But he had so much energy, he couldn't help himself.
Yeah, I know. He was just,
thank God the ball hit him, otherwise he'd have run off the pitch.
Yeah, maybe that's why he cut his sleeves off. It just sort of got rid of a bit of that excess energy.
Non-story of the year.
A penalty must not be taken if the goalkeeper is erect. In the interest of player safety, a 14-stone goalkeeper must not land on his erect penis, especially on hard ground.
So that's why Ozil took it quickly.
Yeah. Ozil, if he'd been on his game, would have played it in off his cock.
while looking away.
He'd have said to the goalie, have a look at Giroud there. And then he'd have seen him.
Wait for.
And then just as he became hard, he'd have pinged it against his helmet.
What was the other goal?
Are you trying to change the subject?
I'm only doing these jokes for Damien, because this is the sort of jokes,
He hasn't stopped, yeah.
He has got a sense of humour, the same sense of humour when I met him when he was 17. And when he was 17, he was like a 12-year-old in the pub. Look at him.
I was 15, all right. Not Canu-esque sort of difference in age, but I was 15.
So the third, what was the other goal? I can't remember now. In this Ozil blind love, what was their third goal?
Theo Walcott on the breakaway.
Theo on the break.
Suddenly you can almost hear the 50cc fizzy engine.
Well, we missed it. We missed a little bit of that. Because no one's seen Giroud bursting past people.
Theo's an asset. He's a major asset, especially on the break. It's fantastic to have him. It's been good to have him start in some games, but off the bench is brilliant too, isn't he?
I reckon he'll start on.
Well, we've got a dilemma coming up. Things are going to get serious now, and we're in a situation. We've got 2 home games that are must-win games to keep that gap before we have the nightmare run of fixtures. Once again, we're in another nightmare run of fixtures. We talked about it before when we had to play Liverpool at home, which turned out to be a cakewalk, but we had Dortmund away, followed by Man United away. Now we've got Napoli away, followed by Man City away 3 days later. I mean, it's criminal, really. There should be some sort of a rule brought in where if all the teams are in the Champions League, if they've got a Champions League game, they do not have to play one another at the weekend. Just make that, just put that in the fixture computer so that the top 4 don't have to play one another after they've played a Champions League game. I mean, especially if it's the last or the penultimate Champions League game with qualification. Because qualification, let's not forget, is beneficial for the Premier League generally, because it means we keep 4 places, right? So why keep putting this situation? Now we've got to go to Napoli. When you're looking at it, you think, well, we need a draw, but we never play for a draw. Play for a draw invites a defeat, right? So he wants to send out his strongest 11, but he's probably going to have to use Vermaelen, Monreal, Walcott, Rosicky, Flamini, all these people who could all do with the game, but certainly it's not a habit of his to make more than 3 changes, but he's got to get something at Man City, because if they beat us, this is the hardest away game in Europe at the moment, Man City, right? If they beat us, although tell that to Bayern Munich, then that's serious for the league.
It's 1 point.
It's the wheels. It's the wheels coming off.
They're through, aren't they?
No, I'm talking about Man City beating us.
No, but Man City are through, aren't they?
Yeah,
so they can rest.
They'll have a full 11 out, and they're playing on Tuesday. So don't worry about them.
Are they on a Tuesday?
Yeah, they're playing on a Tuesday, and they're through already.
Yeah.
So it's a nasty situation for us. We've got to go to Napoli. I don't think we'll lose by 3 goals in Napoli. I expect us to probably get a draw and win the group.
It's going to be one. But you saw what happened when you saw what happened to the best team in Europe when it was on paper a little bit too easy, and then we turned over Bayern Munich. So he's right to want to try and send out a full team, or at least close to a full team, but. Again, like I was saying about the arc of frustration, at least this time we haven't got a team which has got a Squillaci anywhere near the first.
Well, that's true, but I would like to see, I would like to see Cazorla and Ozil and Ramsey on the bench in that Napoli game.
I think you will. I think we still.
Because
will.
I don't want them. I would like to see them not having to feature and for other people, good players that we've got, Thomas Rosicky in particular, and Firmini, to come into the side and see us over the line, get that point over there.
Well, and they're very good at that,
and from Ireland to play too, so that Koscielny does it, because someone's going to get injured, someone's going to get, and that City game's so important. Then after that, we play Chelsea.
I'll tell you what, no one's seen or heard of the Corporal since his Chelsea horror show.
Yeah.
So he's not, So he's not even featuring in the Unleash the Fullbacks shout that comes along.
It was a shocker, that header, especially when Wilshere was telling him to leave it.
I just mentioned him, so I mean, I still don't think he'd feature in Napoli. So it means more games for Sagna, who's just getting on with it at the moment. Without a break.
Sagna will probably play in Napoli. I mean, defenders are where you really need everyone. I think
it's going to be fascinating. City.
He's stuck with Giroud. I don't know. Walcott might use Walcott more, but if you're playing away from home, you need someone who's going to stick to on halfway. Don't you? I mean, so Giroud can't be rested.
Well, do you rest? Do we rest for this whole game?
Well, we rotate for the whole game.
Rotate, yes.
Yeah, I'm not so worried about them. I mean, he'll manage it, won't he? And he'll pick and choose. And we've got Podolski coming back, which is handy.
Yeah.
Aren't we forgetting someone?
Yeah.
Yeah, we are. Right.
Not even in the squad, though, was he? The B-52 at the weekend. I mean, it feels like he's actively looking for bridges to burn at the moment. I don't know what he thinks he's...
Yeah.
Don't blow another chance.
With his swimming pool.
Can you imagine how hacked off Wenger is? Well, all these comments he made when he was in Denmark about how he's getting himself fit. He's actually working hard for a change so he can get fit and get a move. Oh, that's a nice thing to say.
Yeah.
You don't need that in your dressing room when you're going for the championship, which
he can't be that,
by the way.
I mean, every time you say he can't be that stupid, he clearly is.
Yeah, he's an idiot.
Every single time he gets a chance, he's back at...
No, he needs extensive psychotherapy. He's a megalomaniac. He thinks he's the sun in his own universe. He thinks people are thinking about him all the time and no one is.
I do think he got stitched up with that Barcelona-Madrid comment thing. Actually, I don't know if you saw that. He said the headline was, I want to play for Barca or Madrid.
What did he actually say?
I imagine he said... I would love it if I did. Do you know what I mean?
Someone probably said to him, "So Nicholas, what do you think? You want to leave Arsenal? Where's you going to go then? Barca, Madrid? Where's you going to go?" It's too easy, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's too easy for a journalist. They're just bored doing it with him. He goes, "I would love to play for Barca or Madrid." Yeah. Well, why don't you go back to bed and have another dream, you mug?
Yeah. No more questions, my lord.
And then you'd be lucky to get a game at Leicester City at the moment.
Can we move on to AVB and the press, or are you saving that one?
AVB.
Oh,
would you say that Tottenham are in a downward spiral of results? Did you watch the mid-table clash at the weekend?
I did watch the mid-table clash, and you know what? It was a
score draw in the mid-table clash.
It felt the same again. You know, a couple of seasons, when Man United had been ahead of us for the last couple of years, you've been watching it sort of with that kind of schadenfreude, but it's not really your problem. Now I'm watching it again. It's still not our problem, but it's quite interesting to see what happens between these mid-table clubs. It's still very enjoyable to see. They go up.
If they put a run together, they could get above Newcastle. I think. Newcastle at good form, but I think they could possibly get above.
Rooney is on form at the moment. He could drag them to fourth. I definitely think he could do the work to drag them to fourth.
Yeah, it was all set. It was all going so well Sunday, wasn't it?
Well, I'd like to dwell a little bit more on them first of all, actually, because there's their agent of destruction, otherwise known as Michael Dawson, actually didn't do too badly, but because he is this disaster area so much, it's just basically Panic at the Disco all around. The only way that Lloris would have come out to make that challenge is because he knew that Michael Dawson wouldn't get there. The only reason why Kyle Walker played a perfect through ball to a perfect assist for Rooney is because he was wondering whether his centre half, his captain, his leading rock would actually get to the ball or not. And did you see that amazing?
It was a nice layoff.
Yeah, it was.
Goal. Did you see the way Danny Welbeck wandered around Michael Dawson, then came back and did it again? Basically, did you see that bit in the second half?
No, I didn't watch it.
I saw it 3 times. It was wonderful stuff. Michael Dawson, keep him in there.
Yeah, but it was a great. So yeah, that result couldn't have gone better for us. Well, apart from Rooney,
6-0 to United would have been better for me.
Well, would you?
Well, it takes a lot.
See, that was the thing.
It takes a lot to change the sound check here. When Silent Chris at the start of the podcast asked for a sound check, it's normally 5252, but we definitely needed to check for sibilance today.
6-0,
so it was 6-0.
Well, and then Liverpool lost as well to Hull, which was fun.
Wasn't that hilarious? I didn't see it till I saw the highlights.
Oh, joy.
They made Huddleston look like a world beater.
Their back four look like some others do have them. It was. Did.
No, that's the good life. I don't know what I say.
Set to Colo Torre dancing around at the back like that. And he does
diving
dance.
across and heading it.
Well, was Colo playing for us? Was he playing for us or Man City when he did his kind of ninja move back in the day? There's quite a famous Colo Torre kind of ninja move. But for the third goal for this one, if you look back on it, I think he's injured, basically. I think he's 47 years of caught up.
I think he's elderly rather than injured. Speaking of someone who is 47, you're almost permanently.
He's caught up with him. He's holding his hip, right? And then the ball comes over. He really doesn't want anything to do there. And he does start skipping like that. He's doing like a soft shoe shuffle with himself.
And then he sort of banged the ground in frustration, didn't he?
Sammy.
Betty.
Agger's done a whoopsie. Skirtle.
Good, they did it in the goal.
So that's them dropped off to where are they now? Fourth or they're fifth?
Well, they've got. Did you see?
Don't really look down.
Brendan's comments as well. Both of those two, AVB and Rogers, they're just really bad with the press.
They've been on management courses, a pair of them.
Yeah, but they're sort of doing that thing, and it's interesting to watch how Arsene handled our sort of bad period compared to those two, because, you know, he's now saying, oh, well, without Sturridge and Coutinho, we're pretty shit.
Well, it's on you then, isn't it, boss? Because you're the manager.
It's kind of got a point.
Yeah.
Without Suarez, they're relegation fodder. And really, they are totally a one-man team as they were last year.
Yeah.
And he's not going to... Well, now that
Sturridge is out for a few weeks, is he?
8 weeks.
Yeah, a long time.
8 weeks.
But he'll be all right for the World Cup. It's not
so we don't have to,
bad.
Yeah, we don't have to care enough to
have to worry about England. Just have a few weeks off.
Yeah. It takes a lot to feel sorry for AVB, really it does. But he kind of had a point in the way he took on. I mean, he got manager gets tucked up by journalists is hardly story of the week, but he did kind of get.
Who is this Daily Mail journalist?
He's the guy who does. He's soccer.
He's annoyed with Neil Ashton and Martin Samuel. Two of the most experienced sports writers in the country.
Samuel's good, but
10,000 press conferences. I mean, it shouldn't be this easy to wind up a top manager. Really, he spent £100 million and they can't score a goal. So well done. And all you hear all the time now is Tottenham are linked with this player, Tottenham are linked with that player. How many players do you want to buy? Paulinho was a good player. He was a good buy.
Yeah,
they'll manage to ruin him as well.
The rest of them probably shouldn't have bothered with, because he had Lennon and Townsend already. He's got Jermaine Defoe.
He won't play. He does also have Adebayor, please remember that.
So I don't really, Ericsson was obviously a tasty talent, a bit of a mystery why no one else was going in for him. Don't really know what the story is there.
Yeah, I thought that.
But Chadley and Lamella and all these, I don't know really. But it's not our problem, is it? They look like a load of Lebanese waiters when they turned up, and they've got the same application and desire as a load of blokes who just finished a 12-hour shift in a kitchen. That's basically what they look like.
And they've got a seagull up front. I said before that Soldado, he looks like a seagull. And he stands there.
Took his chance well there, didn't he, when he was clean through.
Like a cold, gimlet-eyed striker that he is.
He can play some nice little touches around the centre circle.
Yeah.
And then once he gets in the box, he goes to shit.
Yeah, useful there.
Yeah.
For your 17 million striker.
Joy and a pleasure to see Tottenham being absolutely shit. I didn't expect them to be so shit this season, because they did spend a lot of money and they won 2 or 3 games at the beginning of the year, and they came to our place, cock-a-hoot, we're going to do you, this is it, it's over. They were queuing up ex-players in the press saying they're better than us now, the squad's much stronger, Arsenal have finished, it's over, there's been a shift in power, blah, blah, blah. Every year, the same false dawn. And it's beyond comical when we, unexpectedly, let's face it, string together a run of victories with the best midfield player in Europe suddenly. Last season we think, Ramsey's playing well, he's looking good, he's improving, isn't he? From that to this, no one saw that. Wenger didn't see it, no one saw it. No one saw the amount of goals he's getting. Nothing he can't miss at the moment. Can he, the bloke? And I saw a stat the other day, I don't know if you picked him up, most touches of the ball in the Premiership this season. Aaron Ramsey's got over 1,200. And the next player is about, I think it's actually that Tottenham's right back is the next player. It shows how often Lloris must roll it out to him.
How many times he's covering for Michael Dawson.
And then there's somebody else anyway. But no one, there's only one other player over 1,000. I mean, he's on the ball more than hundreds of touches more than any other midfield player. I mean, really, he's racking up the sort of numbers that Paul Scholes used to rack up. And he's getting goals as well. And Ferguson must be kicking himself that he didn't make more of an effort to get him when we
sent his number 2 over, didn't he? And we flew him over to. I read this the other day. We flew him over to.
Arsenal gave him the full private jet
to Switzerland.
Jet. Yeah.
And they sent who was his number 2 at the
Mike
time?
Phelan, and I think Gary Neville showed him around the training ground.
Oh, brilliant!
That's not going to make you sign, is it?
That's going to do it. We should send Olivier Giroud around from now on, actually, to give that.
But he was only a boy.
The mother's choice.
You know, Aaron was only a boy when we signed him. What was he, 17 years old or something when we signed him, or 18 or something? So Arsene knew, get the parents on side and we'll look after him. And they did look after him. I mean, he's not just saying it to get him to sign. He says it because he means it. He'll do the right thing by him. And when he was injured for all that time, and all the time when he came back, when he couldn't find his form, they did look after him. They stood by him. I thought it was interesting. I think I've said this on here before when Michael Ballack was on Sky being a pundit. For a player I used to detest and hate. You know?
He's actually quite...
One of my favourite YouTube clips is the one where Cesc spits on Michael Ballack. Sorry, appears to. Appears to spit on Michael Ballack. I mean, and he says so much diving and cheating in that game when Munich came to Highbury. But he's a very, very good pundit. He's kind of measured and intelligent and thoughtful about it. And he talks about Ramsey. He said, when you get an injury like that, when you're a young player, you need the club to stand by you, and it shows a good manager and a good football club will stand by a young player and help them find their career again. And I thought the way he said it without directly praising Wenger and Arsenal was quite was well noted. You know,
5-year contract at your lowest ebb as your second lowest ebb, obviously after the leg break.
Well,
but 5-year contract at that point
just makes you think where he would be if he hadn't had a year and a half out. It's the same with Jack. We see how good Jack is.
Yeah, Jack's
I was about to say Jack's coming back.
I mean, all that thing about keeping Cesc after the World Cup final, and he obviously wanted to go then back to Spain, and he was all caught up in the euphoria and the emotion of it, and they put in the Barca shirt on him and all this stuff. He wanted to go then, you know, and he asked him to stay one more year, really because Aaron and Jack weren't ready. And then you get this double injury situation with a pair of them. But now, all his plans are coming. He can't have expected it so soon, Arsene. Now, they're 21 and 22, these two. Ozil's only just turned 25. This is what they should be doing in 3 years' time, what they're doing now.
And we got some grown-ups at the other end of it as well to keep clear.
Well, Mertesack's holding everything together, isn't he? Sanya's having a good season. Arteta and Flamini's got a lot of experience.
Arteta was brilliant.
It's been really, really good.
So good.
But it reminds me a little bit too much, unfortunately, of sort of 87, 88, when we had a really good side with young players in, and we led the league. We went 22 games unbeaten and led the league in January 87, and we won away at Spurs. And they said to George, "You're going to win the title," and he said, "We'll finish fourth." And we were all a bit, all right. And we did. We finished fourth, and we won the League Cup, which is still one of the greatest days of my life, because Ian Rush scored. We went 1-0 down. They'd never lost when he scored. And Charlie Nicholas scored basically 2 flukes.
Oh, they were flukes, weren't they?
And we won the game, but that set us up for 2 more seasons. It was 2 years after that when it all came to fruition, and 2 years after that when we were so brilliant. So I'm hoping...
So what are you saying about this one?
Well, I'm hoping... I've got that, in a way, I got that feeling, but at the same time... There's such quality, there's such sort of slickness in our midfield play, maybe even more so than ever.
So what's different about this than 07, 08?
What's different now? This feels a bit more like 98 when Roy Keane got injured and there seemed like a chance because United weren't at their best. There seems like an opening to take the title this year because there have been changes in management. There's been a bit of disruption. Mourinho's going to get Chelsea near. You know he is.
Yeah. And
they've got a great squad, and he's played it down early in the season. He's been quite clever, but he wants that title more than life itself. You know, he's pretending that, well, if we get fourth, ambition is fourth, if we can challenge for it, blah, blah, blah. Do me a favour. And Pellegrini's only just turned up. There's an opportunity to take the title this year.
Looking at the league table this morning... and yesterday.
It's better than
and the day before. It's amazing. But looking at it, you do have that little bit in the pit of your stomach. You see these two great white sharks beneath you.
It breaks your heart to think that he could build this team in these circumstances, after all this time, building this stadium, staying in the black, doing all this stuff, gets to the point, and then another £500 million is spent, and the team... Which is why it's got to be. That's why this season feels so important, because they've got to. Well, a new manager, Pellegrini, who, by the way, is actually quite classy. I quite like him. And given his second season, they're not going to get any worse, are they? And I'm not. They're sitting there at the moment, but we're sitting on top of it at the moment, and until we play them. That's why these two games are so massive.
How much are you starting to sort of believe, or letting yourself?
I'm waiting until this team beats, the Milan of the 90s and Real Madrid of the 60s. I don't think we can take their title hope seriously.
We have to go to Man City and not lose that game. And if we go to Man City and get the ball off them and start playing on their pitch, if we have the bottle to do that, and we did do it last season. We got to draw there last season and played well there. But, they are a nightmare. Have you seen the way Negredo's combining with Aguero?
Yeah, that's working out, isn't it?
Even
Nasri
that we used to have chipped in with a couple of goals, and then Navas looks lively, Yaya Toure, holy smoke. But we've got a lot going for us, and I just want... I'm looking... It's a pain in the arse to do this, and I know Wenger would be livid if his players were like this, but that's 4 games away. We've got Hull on Wednesday. It's difficult. It's looming so much, that fixture.
But the flip of all of this as well is that you mentioned, we swatted away a very good Cardiff side, right? We've gone around, you keep on hearing about how we haven't played this person, that person, the other person, but we're also not losing or drawing the games that all the other supposed challengers are not losing or drawing.
And we've started keeping clean sheets.
And we've letting one goal, which we won't get you on deep, but we're letting one goal in November, right? Our heart, this nightmare month.
I remember it.
We're letting one goal. Chesney, I think, has been
the great save from Campbell's header.
Our best player. It's hard to say whether he's been our best player or not, but he's impressed me the most. It's been brilliant the way his focus has been since
the whole back
start of the season.
Stunning! Really,
it's been outstanding.
Gibbs is fantastic. Every week he's brilliant.
Yeah, and Mertesacker, the whole thing. It's so great at the back. You just think, they can keep Aguero and Negredo quiet.
So that's what feels a little bit different from 2007, 2008, which answers my own question, because I think we were top in December then, weren't we? And then we also had William Gallas then. So
we were 8 points clear in February. and the wheels came off when that Eduardo nearly lost his foot.
But we also had, we've got these two sitting in front of this brilliant back five at the moment, and not a William Gallas in sight. So
it feels why Bentner has to be out of the dressing room, because at the moment it feels like total unity in there.
Yeah,
it's great.
Yeah, do you think he'll play the Flame and Arteta and sort of go for that sort of more solid midfield at the Etihad?
Oh, I'm back to the day. I'm totally Arsene nose again. I can't even. What do you think, boss? I'd really. Because he's back on it.
Yeah,
he's all over this mess.
Yeah,
and the tragedy of the 3 years before, where people kept leaving, people that he'd brought into the club as kids, developed, nurtured, got to the point where they're getting massive moves, and then they walk out the door basically saying, well, "I'm leaving because you're shit. I'm going here because I don't like the way you run your club." Van Persie, Nasri, slagging you off on the way out the door. Must have wounded him so badly, He keeps his counsel, keeps his dignity, tries to go again, find another young one, nurture and build them up. Then they break their legs or do their ankles, and he has to wait another year, and he's getting slagged off. And now, finally, we seem to be all right financially. Done some great deals, which we wouldn't have got without him.
Yeah.
Built a stadium that we wouldn't have got without him.
And if he didn't sign that contract, he'd be walking out the door with his finger in the air, going like that.
So, and the door's wide open for him at Real Madrid, or wide open for him at PSG at any time, and he's still here. And all I ever wanted for him was to have one more go, just one more lap of honour with the Premier League trophy over his head.
Yeah,
because the thought of him having to go out without something. This is why it's so painful at the moment. All I want to do is fast forward to May and see what happens. I cannot. I can take no pleasure at all from what's happening. I mean, I can love the goals, because the goals are so beautiful this season. we must have about 10 of the all-time 100 Arsenal goals in the first 3 months of this season. It's astounding, you know.
But you know what? This in a way is almost all I've wanted for the last 8 years. Give it that, because I just want to enjoy going again. I just want it. You know, I want it to be brilliant goals. Not 8 years, because we've 4 or 5 years. You know, I think you said last year one time about the moment when the moment the dream died, the moment the project kind of died. Was it 2008, 2009? I always getting confused. I've blanked them out. But it's fun going again. We're playing great football. We're scoring good goals. We can appreciate players who've come up through the team who we feel belong to us, right? You know, you can take every bit of pleasure out of Chesney, Gibbs, Mertesacker over, you know, all the way through the team. We can do that, and especially with Ramsey. So
and also,
that's what I've been
after.
All
that's true, but also, don't you feel now, for the first time for years, we're not vulnerable to predators. We're not vulnerable to someone saying, here's 50 million quid, give us Aaron Ramsey.
He wouldn't go.
Because we don't need it. Suddenly, we're all right. You know, we're sort of solvent. We're not vulnerable. We were saying a couple of years ago, if Wilshere goes, it's finished. If Wilshere goes, I'm going to see the Orient. You know.
Yeah. Who was that? That was Keith, wasn't it?
I think I was equally culpable. Because I could really... And my great fear was I started to feel like any other team must feel, like Southampton supporters must have felt for years, when they've seen great players come through their ranks. Chamberlain, by the way, Chamberlain's still to come back.
Oh, yeah.
Let's talk about some forgotten heroes. Theo Walcott, they've got Luke Shaw now as an excellent fullback. And you see him and you think, oh, well, we'll have him for a year and then he's gone. We'll have him, that's all you were going to get, then he's gone. And that's, I mean, it even happened to Everton, a big club like Everton, when they had Wayne Rooney, they had 1 season, 2 seasons, he's gone. And it started to feel like that might be us.
Yeah.
But now it doesn't.
A brief moment of levity, and you can take the strings that you're going to put over that bit, Chris. He's going to put some silent strings over that. The fact that Alex Song, I watched an advert for Xbox 14 in the football the other day, and they've got Messi. They've got a computer-generated Messi running through. Just when he gets near the goal, they've got a computer-generated Alex Song standing up from the bench, looking excited to see whether the ball goes in. How wonderful and lifelike is that?
That's his role. Acknowledged and recognised.
Barca lost yesterday.
Did they?
Did they?
Yeah, they lost 2 in a row. They lost to Ajax and they lost to Bilbao yesterday, 1-0.
Wow.
And not an Alex Song in sight.
And Gareth Bale scored a hat-trick for Real Madrid. Did I read that?
Yeah. I can enjoy him now. I'm quite pleased for him.
Good player.
Oh, yeah.
Always liked him.
There's another one. Another one for Southampton. I mean, that's what's...
Well, West Ham would have gone through that in the 80s, wouldn't they? Because there was a lot.
Frank, Joe Cole, Jermaine Defoe, Michael Carrick.
Yeah, but they all sold for a house in Sandbanks. There was a reason for that.
Well, yeah, Wenger said at the time, if they keep them together, they could win the league. I mean, you know, really, this is as good a... You know, all this fuss at the moment about the class of 92, those United players, 3 of them are really good. Really good. And the other 3 were kind of okay.
But they were.
But, you know, they're not as good as that West Ham bunch were.
Yeah, but we got a manager who's not thinking about, you know, the markup for selling them on. So,
well, interesting.
Allegedly. Going
back to the Song thing, I mean, letting go of Alex Song when we did it was all done very, very quickly, wasn't it? It was sort of...
He just said, I don't need this. I don't need this one good season.
I know, but you, Freddie. I'm going back, all the things with frustrations that driven us mad. I mean, we're sitting here now as if we've gone through a storm and now we're in plain waters. And actually, the shit hasn't even started yet this season. It hasn't even begun.
This shit ain't over.
It hasn't even started.
We can see Barbados.
We were sitting there, weren't we, talking about Addy Boyle nicking people's
lunch
football
money.
Boots and nicking balls and putting them in the boot of his car. All these muppets we've had at the club. Gallas sitting on the pitch crying when he's the captain.
But that's what I mean. It might not end in the, you know, it might not end in the promised land. It might not end in the promised land. But
I had a dream.
But it's damn good fun again. Do you know what I mean?
Let's win the league. Just put me in a capsule to a man.
I'm quite looking forward to a little bit of FA Cup action as well.
I don't even want to think about the FA Cup.
I like the first few rounds of the FA Cup before it gets to that quarter-final
until you draw
up.
Chelsea.
And
it's a replay and 3 get sent off and then you lose 2 league games because of it.
I would quite happily concede the FA Cup.
No, what are you talking about? No, I love the FA Cup.
Yes. All right.
Yeah.
Still panicked by the Blackburn thing last season.
Well, that was... Don't get daft. Let's not go back there. That was a dark day.
So you got Hull. Are you coming to Hull?
Yeah, I'm going to Hull. I can't go to Everton, but I'm going to Hull. I should be there for Hull City. Quite lively they looked. Quite lively.
Quite funny.
Mid-table. They're in the mid-table tussle with Tottenham and Man United. And they're all vying for 8th place in the moment. So good for them, the Hull Tigers. They said, I read one post that said Vincent Tan looked faintly preposterous.
Faintly?
He's the single most preposterous man in football, and that is saying something. He's wearing a dress shirt with a hideous red Cardiff City. They don't wear red, Vinny. They don't wear red, mate. They wear blue.
You do it. When
you look like an absolute mug.
When they're panning around the crowd, there's him defiantly.
Is it Movember, or does he think he's Freddie Mercury?
No, he does think he's Freddie Mercury.
I'm a killer queen. Is that what he's doing?
He's on a Dick Dastardly flex.
Fat bottom girls, you make the rockin' world. That's what he does. He goes down to karaoke and he does all the Queen songs in his Cardiff Dragon shirt.
And who's the other comedy? Who's the doctor? Someone, the Hull City Tigers fella.
Yeah.
Oh God, yeah.
A lamb or something like that.
He goes, oh well, if they won't let me change the name, I'm out. All right, see ya. Wouldn't want to be you. I mean, it's not going to... Obviously, Steve Bruce at the weekend was going, hopefully we can put this all behind us soon. Maybe he'll see that.
Put a lot of money into the club, though. Yeah.
Oh, dear.
We'll let loose Keith on him.
There is a more serious question. As funny as they both look, there is a more serious question there about, foreign owners coming in and just at a whim changing the colour of your club. I mean...
Yeah, the Bluebirds.
Oh,
it's
Jesus
wrong.
Christ.
It is horribly
really wrong.
And what they did was change it into an awful strip.
Yeah.
Red and black. And that's a kind of hodgepodge away kit, Nottingham Forest 1970s. That is not a kit even. No. So I feel for the Cardiff fans, who, by the way, I know that everyone's sung their praises all weekend. But that was nice that Ramsey got that. Because I'm a little bit tired of Ramsey having to endure all this bollocks at Stoke City, which was all obviously orchestrated and led by Pulis. But
how's that going, T? Sorry.
Down at Selhurst.
But he's lost it. He always loses his first game, I'm told, in charge.
Suddenly now we're rooting for him, isn't it? It's weird, isn't it?
No, I can't. He just can't. He's found. First thing he did when he got there was find the baseball cap with the Palace crest on, and he's got TP, and he's got his oversized tracksuit on again. I was speaking of our favourite tracksuit. He's back in the room again. But I was speaking of tracksuit people. I was listening to Talk Sport this morning. I was in a cab in the shower. And there was a Wigan fan on.
So many euphemisms.
I'm thinking of Giroud now, just to try and get that.
There was a Wigan fan on, going on about Owen Coyle. They fired Owen Coyle. Is that going? He's packed his bags and he's taken his shorts with him. He's been doing the same thing.
When they had the choice between Coyle and McLaren, and they went that way, surely. Were you surprised at the time? I know I was.
Yeah, wasn't he going to replace Arson at one point? Owen Coyle. Owen Coyle was.
Oh, he was. I'm just imagining when
he would say the most stupid things, don't they?
I'm just imagining the conversation with Owen Coyle and Mesut Ozil's father. If he even lets him in the room.
How are you going to persuade Aaron Ramsey to sign Owen? I'll go down and see him in my shorts.
That'll do it.
Hopefully one of me bollocks will be hanging out. That normally wins them round.
Yeah, the underpants lining's perished slightly.
But what are they going to do now? 6 months into the season, and dear.
But it means we've got Pulis coming back to the Emirates,
and that's always a fun day out.
To the Arsenal Cannonballs. Imagine if we would change the Arsenal.
The guns.
The Arsenal Hot Shots.
And we played in white and blue.
Yes. The Arsenal Hot Shots.
Well, I feel for Cardiff City fans. Now, what was Aaron Ramsey doing when he was putting his hands over his head? What does that mean?
Oh, this is
that gesture.
This is a Cardiff City celebration. It's the Ayatollah. That's what it is.
The Ayatollah. And I heard someone say that, but it still doesn't mean anything to me. Is that what they do when they score a goal?
Yeah.
They do the Ayatollah.
They did Ayatollah, so he did a very surreptitious, as surreptitious an Ayatollah can be.
Right.
He's doing.
He showed himself that he's Cardiff till he dies. They're in his heart.
We were watching it without. We were watching it without any commentary, which, by the way, was a good idea because I saw some very irate tweets about Stuart Robson rearing his ugly head.
Has he surfaced?
Oh, he's back.
Has he got anything to say?
He's been sighing. Saying, despite their defensive record, I still don't believe in this Arsenal back four. Is one that I saw. Exactly.
As he takes another drink.
It's just not even worth. It's
he
just
takes
not
his
even worth
smack
worrying
dealer.
about him. TalkSport have been using him less and less actually because he's got nothing to say to him. His reason of being is
they don't need all that bitterness on their channel. If they want someone provocative, they want someone at least with a bit of wit about it.
Get Keith.
But no, I was going to say we're watching it without any commentary. But so you thought that the Iron Ramsey, that's not fair on him. The Aaron Ramsey goal, the first one, might have even been offside or something because he really doesn't celebrate. There's not even a hint of. He's just he's almost as if the flag had gone up and we hadn't seen it.
He wants the wheels to come off and us to lose games. He wants Arsenal to lose matches and Arsene Wenger to be sacked. Yeah.
We haven't even mentioned Giroud. Maybe did he see his reflection and stop?
He saw his own shadow and panicked. I don't know about Giroud still. I mean,
Arsene's furious.
Well, of course, he's clean through. Score.
Who was it on?
I don't even know if Ozil touched the ball. The replays were inconclusive.
Yeah, he did.
So the ref might have given him off anyway if he'd seen that. The linesman hadn't seen it, had he?
I think Ferdinand said the next day, if you're a striker, you just
of course you do.
Smash it in and then worry about it afterwards.
I mean, really, that was peculiar. He must have known that Ozil had touched it, but you've got to be a bit more of a nasty bastard. That was Alan Shearer going to do there.
Elbow someone.
He'd score and then go and just swear at the ref in his ear hole for about 5 minutes for not giving it.
And then threaten not to go to the World Cup if it's not given.
I mean, top marks for Giroud. Talk about making the most of your abilities, and we need him badly. And he's exactly the same goals record as Robin Van Persie this season. I'm sure at one morning he's going to wake up, get in his car, start driving to London Colney and then pull over and start crying.
Let that happen.
Just put it in the sat-nav, London Colney.
Yeah.
And then as he's nearly at the gates, he thinks, ducks down, hides as the other lads go past in their cars. We has to wait till dark so we can drive home. Why would you miss training? I went to the training ground.
He's injured.
I don't like David, boys.
We're just like Everton.
He's injured at the moment.
Meulenstein left, didn't he? His Dutch mate.
Yep.
Oh yeah,
and stabbed Martin in the back.
Yeah.
Well, we don't know.
Well, they weren't playing for Martin Yale, were they? I was a bit surprised, but there you go.
Which bit of Abel Tarapt and Berbatov's captain surprised you?
Really?
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean? Really, that's not really inspire any confidence, is it? Can they do it on a wet Tuesday? They can't do it on a sunny Saturday in August. Tarapt.
Have we played Fulham at home?
So much talent. No, we've stuffed them away, didn't we? Podolski scored, I think, remember.
Podolski's coming back.
Chamberlain's coming back.
When is that? Is that December or is it?
I think it's a bit later than that.
Oh, it's December.
He's they put March on Diaby.
Oh, good.
It's nice.
Let's talk about seeing him in Diaby in March, so that would be nice.
It was just enough time for his medal. And who's the striker we signed? I've forgotten his name.
We've signed a striker?
The one, Sonogo.
Yaya. Wake me up, Yaya Sonogo. Yeah. Well, wake me up when Yaya Sonogo.
Well, with your time capsule, it might be
available, yeah.
You're going into hibernation until May, so you might be ready by then.
Oh, please, I want to know what happens. I can't bear it.
It is a brilliant season, isn't it? I know we can say that from
You can hold them 4 or 5 points clear from now for 6 months, them two clubs. With all the other annoying fixtures.
So what are we on? We're on 31.
We're on 31, yeah.
And they're on...
You ain't going to win this league with less than 90. You know that, don't you?
Okay, right. Now, I hate...
But hold on, City have lost 4 times, though, right?
Yeah, they have.
So but you can only lose...
We need them to lose 2 more times, both to us.
You can only lose 6.
Yeah, well, particularly if you lose 2 to your rivals, you have to beat them.
Well, this is the bizarre thing about this season is that as invincible as Man City look now,
at home,
they can go. They could go to Hull and they could have lost. They could go to Hull and lose. They could go. Well, they did lose at Cardiff, didn't they?
Yeah.
And it's just that change about how a team. Chelsea look awful some games, amazing with others.
The thing I liked about us, when we won the league in 2002, we were unbeaten away from home, and obviously we were again in 2004. What I liked about it is we go to other teams' grounds and just take the ball and dominate the match. And it was a very calm and composed way of dominating on other teams' pitches without getting caught up in the crowd, making silly mistakes. Just take over the game, win the game, and go home. And that's what we did. And we scored in every game in 2002, which we're doing again at the moment. It was very unusual for us not to score, and we failed to score at Old Trafford, and I still put it down to being a bit under par after the Dortmund game.
And illness.
Which is why I've got this fear, and illness, I've got this fear about how we feel after Napoli. But if we win at Napoli, and they'll go there on a high,
We haven't had
the United thing would have hurt them, so that at least they'll have that and know they don't want that feeling again.
We haven't had our patch yet, which you've got to have. And you could argue, your blip, and you could argue that City have had theirs. And even when Chelsea, the thing of Chelsea, I don't mind watching City. Right, Chelsea are just so horrible in every way. They win ugly, but they win. And I can hear Chelsea fans just going, get over it. But they get by. I can't see.
Oh, mate, what is there to like? The billionaire owner with all the bodies in the ground.
They more than get by. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And Terry and Cole.
Oh, John Terry.
And the
but
fans
yesterday they went long. We got our lucky breaks against Southampton. They won that with they went long. And did you watch it yesterday? They went long and they.
I can't watch other teams. It makes me feel ill.
Can you not at the moment?
Listen, while we've got two, I can't do anything at the moment, I'm too busy, but while we've got 2 home games this week, they've both got 2 away games, so you've just got to keep your fingers crossed. I think Chelsea play West Brom away, or Man City play West Brom away. Chelsea, I think, have got Stoke and Sunderland away. You're looking at 6 points probably, but they're away, so if someone can just nick someone out there, maybe just do something for us, do us all a favour, do the whole league a favour, try and peg these bastards back, these billionaires, before they buy the Premier League again, because we might actually nick it and do it with our own money.
Are you ready for
out of our own wallet?
Are you ready for a beast? We got a beast coming on Sunday. We got a beast.
Romelu.
What do you think of all this stuff about that he's been sent on loan to be a wrecking ball for the other clubs? I mean, it sounds a bit far-fetched.
A Liverpool fan friend has been using that conspiracy.
A Liverpool fan conspiracy.
Yeah, I know. I mean, it's clever by Moyes. Moyes, God, listen to me.
Yeah, Martin is.
Martin. And Mourinho as well. It was the 3
I don't buy it at all. He didn't realise how good he was. That's the truth of it. He thought Eto'o would be a better bet because he likes someone who's 30 and is ready to go. He doesn't like 19-year-olds in his team. He doesn't want him near his team.
Yeah.
You look at what he did at Inter Milan and what his Chelsea team were like before. He didn't have any children in the team.
But that game's going to be fun on Sunday. I didn't even realise it was Sunday.
At least they play a bit now.
Everton.
Yeah. At least Martinez will play now. I mean, Moyes would come, they'd all be behind the ball, and it'd be ugly and grim, and sometimes you'd just decimate them 7-0. And sometimes it'll be hard to get the points. But at least you think there's going to be a game on Sunday, and I think we'll probably win it. And I think we'll beat Hull as well. And we've got to do it, right?
Yeah.
And then we're 37 points, and we're scraping our way to the end of the season. I'm going home, I'm not shaking anymore, and I'm not welling up all the time.
It's emotional, isn't it?
Just let it be over.
But you see, going back to what you were saying, I think the way we responded to the Man United result was good because we all knew, that could have been the start of our blip. And it wasn't, and we dealt with it maturely, and as you say, we go away, and then, we play measured, we don't look panicked, we don't look nervous. We went, should be a sense of injustice after Old Trafford, because we should have got at least a point.
It was the least annoying defeat to them. I know it's frustrating, but it wasn't.
They were scared of us. We looked good. We just didn't have the cutting edge.
And we were ill.
We were a bit below par.
Yeah.
But, I felt there are positives to take from the game.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's time to move on.
Okay, big of you.
He does it in the voice of your therapist, T.